Fortnite has become known for its fun, unique Battle Royale gameplay experience and is easily the biggest video game of this generation. While Epic Games has been praised time and time again for their constant updates and community interaction, there has been a handful of times where Epic Games has made a mistake that the player base was not very happy with. What's up guys, and welcome back to the Simply Viral channel. Thanks for stopping by. If you guys are new around here, feel free to subscribe with your channel notifications turned on by clicking that little bell icon, that way you'll never miss another upload. If you guys are excited for Season 8 of Fortnite Battle Royale, make sure to let us know by giving this video a big thumbs up and slapping that like button, and drop us a comment down below saying which season of Fortnite is your favorite. Now without further ado, let's jump back into the world of Fortnite Battle Royale and take a look at 8 of the biggest mistakes in Fortnite history. Number 1. Adding planes. Planes are a brand new addition to Fortnite Battle Royale here in Season 7, as now alongside quad crashers, ATKs, and shopping carts, players can take to the air via the new plane vehicle. For starters, the planes are extremely frequent spawns, and they're basically spawning in at every single expedition outpost in the game every game, meaning that the plane spam is always abundant regardless of what mode you're playing. The plane spam then leads into the nuisance of constantly having a barrage of fighter jets bombarding you in certain situations. While getting third-partied is annoying as is, it's even worse when you're getting third-partied by a plane that suddenly swoops in and completely destroys your builds and ultimately your momentum in a battle. Having a plane completely destroy everything in sight by boosting into it or blowing it up with a turret is easily one of the most annoying aspects of gameplay here in Season 7. Not to mention the final circles are constantly filled with people flying above the map so that they don't have to get into gunfights and build battles until they're ready to do so. The plane controversy has been one that's risen to peak levels as of late, as the majority of the community and even pro players are calling for the planes to be removed from the game. Number 2. Adding balloons. Similar to planes, balloons are a relatively new feature here in Fortnite Battle Royale, one that primarily the competitive community is not a fan of. Like planes, balloons completely change the pace of the game, as players can essentially ignore the storm for the better part of its closing if they have balloons, as when they need to, they can quickly move around the map by balloon hopping to the next zone, meaning matches end up playing a lot slower than before. Balloons also spawn in incredibly frequently despite their rarity, and oftentimes you can find them multiple times throughout a game, taking up a spot in a chest that a much more needed item could have had. As I mentioned, the competitive community is pretty strongly against balloons, as they have too much of an impact on how any given match plays out, and perhaps sooner than later, Epic Games will vault the balloons for the sake of gameplay. Number 3. Removing bounce pads. Bounce pads were easily one of the most well-received additions that we've ever seen in Fortnite. Bounce pads opened the door for many new gameplay elements such as trick-shotting, trap houses, and just generally more movement options during a match. Trickshotting became a huge hit when bounce pads were introduced to the game, as players all around the world were setting up some insane shots for the final kill of the game, with bounce pads being the dominant factor in each scenario. Allowing players to receive an accelerated launch into the air without the risk of having to take fall damage allowed for some pretty awesome clips that unfortunately aren't so doable anymore. Trap houses were also made infamous primarily due to Nick-A30, who would use bounce pads to send unsuspecting players towards their demise in various trap houses in some of the most hilarious ways possible. And just in general, bounce pads added a new unique movement characteristic to the game. You could use them to quickly move across the map by placing them on walls and just going from wall to wall, bouncing your way into the next zone, or you could use them to gain a much needed height advantage in a gunfight. Regardless though, there is no denying that bounce pads are sincerely missed nowadays. Number 4. Adding the guided missile. If you were playing Fortnite when the guided missile was released, you probably remember the instant anger from the community, as it was easily one of the most annoying weapons in Fortnite history. While it wasn't incredibly tactile, the guided missile was certainly effective in being a major deterrent for many players, as it was essentially an RPG that you could control freely until it exploded or collided with a person and/or object. This of course resulted in some pretty crazy clips in the form of rocket rides and trolling, but in the end the guided missile turned out to be more of a nuisance than anything else, and Epic Games ended up removing it after a brief period of time. Number 5. Removing the gifting system. Throughout all of 2018, one of the most hyped up, anticipated features in Fortnite Battle Royale was the gifting system. Update after update, and even season after season, Players around the globe were anxiously waiting for the gifting system to finally go live in-game so that they could give and receive skins and other item shop items with their friends. But when it finally did go live, the feature was only available for a few short weeks and was more of a beta test than anything else. Months after it was announced, the gifting system did finally come to the game and everyone was freaking out. Everyone was so excited that the gifting system was finally a real thing. We could actually give and receive skins from our friends. They couldn't believe it was finally happening, but then, a few weeks after it debuted, the gifting system was removed from the game, only to be released at a later date. And that date has still not been revealed, so without actually knowing it, Epic Games actually gave us a beta gifting system and not actually the real thing, unfortunately. So here we are in Season 7 now with no gifting system in the game, and the only thing that remains of it is the stale taste that it left with us during its few brief moments in the game. Maybe come Season 8 the gifting system will finally return again, but unfortunately there, only time will tell. Number 6. Nerfing the shotguns. Shotguns have of course been the epicenter of multiple controversies over the course of Fortnite Battle Royale's history, as double pumps and one-shot kills have been on the sending and receiving end of some pretty interesting arguments. But undoubtedly, one of the biggest mistakes that Fortnite and Epic Games ever made was when they nerfed the shotguns into the ground. Originally, shotguns were strong. So strong in fact that they were one-shotting everyone in sight at seemingly impossible distances. So Epic Games decided to nerf them, and that was acceptable and understandable at the time. But then, the shotguns got nerfed again, and that nerf was what allowed for the blue pump to deal like 7 damage time and time again, and that was just too much. With the double pump and the decent damage output gone, shotguns essentially became a thing of the past, which gave way to the spray meta as it was known, where pretty much everyone and their mother was stocking up on SMGs in-game and spraying and praying until they got the victory royale. Number 7. Removing the factories. The factories, oddly enough, are one of the most beloved points of interest in Fortnite history despite there not really being that much to them. The factories were just a few small buildings located in between Retail Row and Dusty Depot. But when the meteor came crashing down, destroying Dusty Depot and creating Dusty Divot, the factories were also flattened, leaving many Fortnite players down in the dumps. In all honesty, the factories did make a relatively barren and boring part of the map worth going to, as they offered some decent materials and had quite a few loot spawns. Now though, the giant crater known as Dusty Divot still sits there where the factories used to lie. But maybe one day the Fortnite construction crew will rebuild our favorite unnamed location. In the past, we have seen multiple trucks carrying different wooden slabs, potentially hinting at the return of the factories, but once again, only time will tell there. Number 8. Adding C4. C4, or the remote explosive as it was known in-game, was easily one of the most controversial additions that Fortnite has ever seen. The C4 could seemingly destroy an entire building in just one attempt, and ultimately was by far the most annoying explosive item that we've ever seen in Battle Royale. And trust me, that's saying a lot because really the guided missile was pretty bad. The C4 spawned in frequently, it destroyed every building in sight frequently, and was the target of many debates frequently. And with that, Epic Games decided to vault it for good and give players a break from having their worlds come crashing down at the hands of the remote explosive. And there you guys have it. Those are 8 of the biggest mistakes made in Fortnite history. Do you guys agree with this list, or do you have something else to add to it? Make sure to let us know down in the comments below. If you guys enjoyed the video, or if you're excited for Fortnite Season 8 and the potential return of the gifting system, make sure to drop a like on this video and give it a big thumbs up, as it would be much appreciated. And of course, if you guys are brand new here to the Simply Viral channel, feel free to go ahead and subscribe with your channel notifications turned on by clicking that little bell icon. By turning on those channel notifications every single time we post a new video here on the channel, YouTube will actually send you a message letting you know we've gone live with a new video. That way you can be the first person to watch, like, and comment on each and every new post. Once again, thank you guys so much for tuning in, and until next time, take it easy, have an awesome rest of your day, and we'll see you guys on the battle bus. Peace out.